Man, I tell you what, you know something that's very interesting, and that is how Snail Games and Wildcard Studios continue, in my opinion, to disappoint the Ark community. It's wild that Ark Survival Ascended has been out since October 25th of 2023, and we still, to this day, I feel almost on a weekly basis, are getting nothing but disappointment from the developers. We're getting additional delays on features that were promised from, the start of the game, and third here, what feels like a lack of optimization since the game has officially launched. Welcome back to the channel, survivors. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into Ark Survival Ascended. I want to talk about the most recent news we've got via the community crunch. I want to go over some major delays that we're starting to see here pop up, and last but not least, let's talk about the potential chance of Ark not even having a future. So diving right in, let's talk about the biggest delay that is officially happening, and that is the server transfer feature that was supposed to come to the game on February 2nd, 2024 is now being pushed back to February 7th. At least that's what they've currently said here in their game's official Discord. Unfortunately, we all know that this, take this date with a grain of salt, as it is potentially going to be delayed even further. They went on to say that due to the complexity of the integrated player-created custom cosmetics feature, their network structure, and the new modding framework was just way too complex in order for them to implement the server transfer feature at the exact same time. Now, if you guys didn't check out my previous video where I talked all about the custom cosmetics and my worries and concerns about them, it looks like that's starting to come to fruition here. It looks like in order for them to implement all of those things, which as I mentioned before are probably very complex, and trying to make sure that players can't, find ways to exploit these items, is going to now start to delay these other features, aka server transfers, not coming until February 7th, at least not at the time of recording this video. Once again here, I would expect this date to be even further delayed, and I also really am worried about these features even working properly when they do get added into the game. And I would like to confirm that the server transfer feature is not the only feature that is being delayed. As we can see here from Cedric over on Twitter, they also stated that this delay includes the major version update with the custom cosmetic system and the additional other dev kit enhancements that were spoken about in the previous community crunches. And now to add to the shitstorm, we also have another delay, or a reason for a delay, and that brings us to the Shastasaurus. You guys know the Shastasaurus was actually supposed to launch with the center map, which is technically the first DLC we should be seeing here in the next coming weeks for Ark Survival Ascended. Well, they have recently announced that they were going to be changing the Shastasaurus out, and instead they were going to be launching the Gigantoraptor for the center's map. Now, this was against what the community had originally stated and voted for, and this makes a lot of players upset. Well, somebody asked over on Twitter, Jeremy specifically, and said, can we get an official explanation as to why you guys changed the creature? We wanted the real winner, not the Ragnarok one. And Jeremy responded back to them by saying they needed more time to just simply execute the submarine creature properly. They have to rewrite some basing code for UE to stay in local space on the creature even when in different physic modes, like falling or jumping. It says on a plus side, this will be coming along with a full large size vehicle worthy basing system. And Dolly as well reiterated this inside of the game's official Discord. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you can go through and read it, and it's basically just a copy and paste of the exact same answer that Jeremy gave on Twitter. So it looks like because they continue to try to go down this path of introducing new features to Ark Survival Ascended, it is just getting everything held up in the mix and causing a lot of issues. I've said this previously in other videos, man, I really wish that Wildcard and Snail Games would just stop trying to put anything new into Ark Survival Ascended currently, and instead focus on building the base version of the game. Get the game running smoothly, optimally, making sure that everything is working and functioning as intended, and then you can start working on and focus on trying to implement new things into the game. I honestly think this is probably one of the biggest reasons why players have yet to actually transfer over from Ark Survival Evolved private servers to the official network for Ark Survival Ascended. Not only that, but just even the exploitation that's going on, the lack of optimization, and also the lack of content, as they have simply stripped down Ark Survival Ascended from everything that Ark Survival Evolved had already implemented into the game. So I really wish they would just buckle down, focus on getting the base version of the game done. And speaking of brand new things being added to Ark Survival Ascended, we've got a new event on the horizon, Love Evolved. Now, this is going to be coming straight from Ark Survival Evolved, so not really technically new, but they did confirm that it should be launching on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, and it will run all the way until Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 on official servers. Now, keep in mind, this does mean you'll have to activate it and deactivate it via the mod system, just like we had to do with the Winter Wonderland event. And additionally, as one would expect, the community crunch had no additional information as what we could expect for the Love Evolved event. I really wish they would just build on this hype and generate some sort of, level of buzz around the event, at least leading up to February 13th. But instead, they only gave us a screenshot image here. We can see some cosmetics, potentially some chibi designs that we could expect, but in general here, it doesn't look like anything crazy. We're going to have to wait and see until they fully release the information, which it looks like they're planning to in next week's community crunch. And now, last but not least, let's talk about the terrible numbers here for Snail Games. If you guys don't watch the stock market at all, you guys would be just like me, and I myself do not, but I have seen this being shared throughout the Ark community where they are at an all-time low for the stock price for Snail Games. Now, the reason why this is a big deal is because it is a public traded company, and which means they have a slew of investors. And when things start to dip really low, investors starts to pull out of their stock, which then in turn, long term, would end up killing the company. Now, I'm not exactly sure or expect this to happen necessarily to Snail Games, but we do know from the past that Snail Games has utilized the revenue achieved from Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended to then fund other projects. So I wonder exactly which projects are going to have to be cut if this funding continues to drop and plummet even further. And additionally, the player counts for Ark Survival Ascended are at an all-time low as well. Players are just simply not playing the game currently at the moment. I understand a lot of this might be due to taking a hiatus leading up to the center map being officially launched, or them just potentially checking out other games at the moment, because we have had a slew of other survival games launching. But in general, guys, I think this is what we can expect to see for Ark Survival Ascended, at least until the devs get the heads out of their ass and start actually working on the base version of the game and fully optimizing the experience for players to enjoy the game. And I understand this is not my typical happy-go-lucky video, but I'm just being strictly honest here, and I want to just be honest with you guys. I'm very annoyed with the current state of the game, not just necessarily the game itself, as I love Ark. I have invested over 5,000 hours since 2015 until now, and I absolutely would not take that back, and it is literally one of my favorite games that I've ever played. But it just sucks when you have a development team, in my opinion, that is constantly screwing the pooch and not providing anything for its player base, and instead constantly seems to be on the forefront of introducing new things that just constantly break their current status of the game. I don't know, man. That's just my personal opinion. That's the most recent news we have. Expect more delays, expect more dates not even being able to be hit, and I'm very curious to see what they're looking to bring with this new event for Love Evolved. And with that being said, you guys let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. I would love to stir up a discussion here talking about your relationship with Ark Survival Ascended. Are you still playing the game? Are you checking out other games instead? Have you walked away completely, or are you simply waiting for a DLC map? Either way, let me know down below in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Ark Survival Ascended related. And with that being said, as always, guys, I'll see ya on the next one.